Hello everyone and welcome back to Every Heart Can Dance. This is Kyryl and today we continue to dive into the world of arm movements and seeing how linking them together will bring the whole body to life. So the main secret to link both arms into a natural movement is through continuous counteraction. I know it sounds really fancy, but it's actually very naturally happening in our body. Let me demonstrate. So if we stand comfortably in this position, just standing straight, and we'll choose to move one arm by swinging the body, the other arm will go as well in the opposite way. Yeah? Again, I'm focusing only moving one, but the other one is picking up and moving as well. Now it happens naturally, we're not thinking about the other arm. If the other arm is not moving, it means our body is a bit tensed and we move just the arm itself. That's why when you learn arm movement, don't focus on arms, because you will have hard time with linking it together. You're gonna have hard time while you're moving the one arm, you're gonna lose the other. So we have to focus on what happens in the body, and that will create an effect on our arms. So there is even an exercise in Qigong, if you've ever practiced, to create a better circulation and flow of energy in the body. It starts like this, when you just rotating your upper part of the body and letting your arm kind of to smack on the shoulder. Yeah? That's kind of the idea that we'll be creating today. Let's start right away. I know this was just an example. Let me show you exactly what to do for our Latin American dancing. As a step one, we need to create a proper position to allow that energy flow in the body that we can put out into our arms. So number one is to create stacked position of the body parts, which means this, like a zigzag action that we've done in the previous tutorials as well. Knees going back, pelvis going forward. If pelvis going forward, ribs are closing in. If ribs are closing in, the chest, sternum is stretching forward along the clavicles. When this goes forward, our spine is trying to go back. And if you remember, we're trying not to tense it. We're stopping right before it becomes an action. So I'm just slightly knees back, pelvis forward, ribs in like I'm hugging something, stretching along my clavicles and bring this back. That's it. And I will also bring my weight a little bit more towards the balls of the feet so we can create that pressure to the floor. We don't do pressure through the heels, okay? So that's number one. Number two, if you recall, we also have two buttons right here, right below our back ribs in here. And we're plugging them in a way that we feel a bit of tension here. So we just divided our body in two parts. Upper part from the ribs and up, and the bottom part from the hips and down. So that space between the ribs is free. There are no bones, nothing restricting us, just the spine. And that's where we are creating the counter action in the body. We'll start from this. Just put proper position, buttons in, and what we'll do now, we're just gonna turn our upper part of the ribs from side to side. We've done it before, so we'll always move from 10 to 2 o'clock. Yeah, just like this. You can go stop at 12 and then from 12 to 2 o'clock. Yeah, just like this. Try to keep your ribs not open, but a little bit more, kind of more parallel to the floor. Yeah, so not like so, this way. Kind of filling in, we're pressing down, our belly button is going to spine. That will help us to create this position. Don't tense it, so you'll be able to move this. You don't need to do it much. Pay attention that you're not moving the shoulders. Yeah, it comes from the body here. Yeah, that's the first part. The second part is where we keep it in the body. Yes, your weight is more on the balls of the feet, and we're turning just our hips. Same 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Yes, just like this. Yes, upper part is staying. Now, if we just hang our arms like so, and we move the upper part, you see the arms are reacting and moving forward and back, a little bit around, yes? But even if we do it with the bottom part and move the bottom part, you notice that your arms, even though your body is not moving, arms are kind of a little bit reacting back and forth. And this is the key for us. We're going to enhance it. So what did I do now? I focused on counteracting, not necessarily moving at the opposite directions. We can if we're doing a turn. What we're trying to do is trying to keep one part and let the other part move. Imagine the hands on the wall in the mirror and turn just the bottom part. Yes, or the bottom part is standing sturdy. Yes, and you move just the upper one. Start from there. If you feel that they're tense, relax and breathe. Allow breathing through your movement. That will help you to connect to the body more and relax. Let's extrapolate everything we've done so far onto actual Latin American movement, which is what? Cuban motion. Let's stand with feet apart, zigzag action position in our body. We're gonna plug in buttons at the back and we're gonna put hands, imagine that you put them on the mirror. And what we'll do now, we're going to create a Cuban motion with the bottom part, which means what? Pendulum, rotation. Pendulum, rotation. Now, very important part, when I create pendulum, I make sure that I finish in the diagonal before I rotate. I do not go boom right away back. You are going to lose an arm action because you're losing counteraction. So watch this again. I'm keeping the upper part and letting the bottom part work. Pendulum, rotation. Upper part stays, bottom part works. Pendulum, rotation. Pendulum, rotation. Now, even if I would just hang my arms down but keep my body stable, when I do pendulum, it looks like my hip is going forward, and then when I rotate, it goes back. Again, hip goes forward, goes back, but when the hip goes forward, this arm is kind of back. Whereas, because that hip was back, this arm is forward. Now rotate, it switches. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Yeah? So I'm not moving the arms. I'm letting them hang just down. I move my weight goes more, so my hip goes more. Arm, body staying. When I rotate, my arm reacts to this. Hip goes back, arm kind of goes forward. Now move here, and this is the idea. This is already, we're starting kind of our movement. And rotate. Okay? Now, if we're going to create a little bit more stronger action of our hips, a little bit more powerful movement within the body, and create more energy to it, which means there, my elbow is going back when the hip is going forward. Now, when I rotate back, my arm is starting to open. Hip goes back, my arm is starting to open. Now, when I transfer to this side, my arm is going in opposition to this hip, whereas this elbow at the back. Now, when I rotate this part, this arm is coming out, and this one is preparing to go back. And I'll rotate again. This arm already in front, this is ready to go back. Now, when we transfer, this is our full position. And we go. See, we created a bit more energy, so the arm's starting to fill in. And go. And rotate like pushing water. When I rotate back, my arm starting to go side. When hip goes back, my arm forward. Now I'll rotate it to start bringing in. When I bring in towards the opposite hip, this elbow is going back. And rotate, come back over. Now wait. I know it's a little bit tough thinking about this. I'm going to give you a super gem right now. This is the secret. Whatever counteraction we just created, yeah, so body staying, hip is going back, I feel counteraction. Now I'm keeping that until I arrive to the other side. So I'm keeping that. And that's what brings my arm to the front. Not the arm itself, the counteraction. So in the way this goes back, body opposing it. Now when I push, I do not lose that counteraction. That's the key. This is the secret. And then I'll rotate again. I create this counteraction, body staying. My hip is going back, my arm in front. And when I'm moving, I keep on creating that. This is still pushing back, body countering, and that's what keeps the arm. If you created nice counteraction, but you're moving, you lost it, that's it. You arrive, nothing. This is just hanging. That's why you're starting to move the arms already more by themselves, which is a little bit more manufactured, a little bit more empty. So, the key for the linking of the arms and staying all the time connected is continuous counteraction that we never lose. Imagine figure skaters or speed skaters when they're going like so in that position to maintain, keep the power in the body so they can continue moving. Imagine they relax and they just go. They lose the energy, they lose the flow, and they can even lose balance. So let's do it one more time, and this is the key for us. Start simple, pendulum, rotation. I will allow one arm in front, one arm at the back because of your hips. Now transfer weight, it goes to the front. Now when we rotate, the arms kind of react to it as well. Don't move them much, just absorb what they are. Move, rotate, move, rotate, move, rotate. Now if we review what the pattern of the arm, elbow goes back, opens to the side, stretches forward, and then we have to rotate a little bit to bring it back. We don't move the arm flat, yes? So we always create rotation in the body, rotation in the arm. We move. Rotation here, rotation actually happens in the axis that we're standing on. That's why the arm is reacting. Again, the key is to make sure there is a continuous counteraction in the body. So in other words, when I move after this, I keep pushing this back and keep counteracting with the body. Now, if the legs and still overpower, then we create a flat or continuous movement, like Rumba walk. We'll talk about that as well. If the upper part overpowering, that's how we create a turn. So when you go over and the upper part starting to overpower, that's the beginning of our turn that we can create. We'll talk about that as well in a separate tutorial. Do we have it? Let's practice it again. Let's practice it once again. I'm going to turn around and follow me from the back. That's probably going to be a little bit easier. Yeah? So standing in the position, zigzag knees going back, pelvis forward, ribs closing in, buttons, still stretching. Now we'll allow arms to hang. Weight is a little bit more to the front part of the foot. Start from pendulum from one side to another side. And side rotation. Now this side is behind. This kind of gonna go to the front. Rotate again. To the front. Rotate again. So we start this as our main action. And now we start gradually adding a little bit more elbows. So what I'm doing here, when I'm moving with my hips to the side and forward in here, from the back, this elbow is behind. I don't move too much, I react. Now when the hip is rotating, starting to rotate, the arm is starting to go to the front. Now when I move the pendulum to this side, the elbow bends and comes to the front here, but this elbow reacts to the back. Now when I rotate this one back, this arm reacts, where this one prepares to go to the back and go finish in the back. When I rotate, this arm is going forward. Again, I think about the elbow. This elbow prepares to go to the back. Hip goes forward, elbow finish is a little bit back. And rotate. And over and rotate, arms are switching. We move. We switch. We move, we switch. We move, we switch. And 2, and 3, and 2, and 3. And if you notice again, I'm moving my bottom part, whereas I'm trying to keep my upper part more stable. And I'm trying to maintain that position that helps me to arrive over my leg. Then I can release, rotate, and move to this side. The more position, the more opportunity to finish fully on top of the leg. Then rotate. Now we can choose to do it like in cucaracha action or Cuban rock action. We can choose to be in between, but we never lose the counteraction. It's still there. Then we release and rotate. 2, and 3, and 2, and 3, and if you notice, I am also trying to keep my arms not too high up. If they're too high, we are going to disconnect from the counteraction, from the bottom part. That's why it's very important to press our shoulder blades down and out to stay connected to the bottom part. okay? So you might ask, what is the difference between cha-cha and rumba? And the difference is here. You open still in the same way. But in cha-cha, because we're super fast, we don't have chance to gather that much, that low to the body. We just gather halfway, and then we open again. We rotate, we gather only halfway, because the movement is really fast. Or we can do it even a quarter way. You can rotate quarter, and now we already open it again. And that's the way we match it, by reducing the size. We're not opening less, we bring it into the body less, because we still want to create an arm action within, make it full. If you would like me to create a separate tutorial talking about cha-cha arms, let me know in the comments below. And here it is, guys. I'm sure information that we've covered in this tutorial will affect and transform your arm movement. Not only you'll be able to link both arms into one action, you'll be able to feel yourself more. It's all about priorities. When we think how to move arms, we just move arms. But when we feel our weight movement, our body, ourselves, and how that transforms and affects the arms and other body parts, that's much more true, more genuine way, and much more something we can sustain. And I really hope that every time you dance, it brings you closer towards harmony of mind and body together, which hopefully will affect the quality of your everyday lives as well. Now, this is a stepping stone tutorial towards arm movement in the turns. I promise that, I'm gonna keep my word. So there in upcoming tutorials, please watch for that. As usual, thank you so much for watching, thank you for following. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be looking forward to see you next time. Bye now.